What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Super excited. We've got a very cool guest, so sit back, relax, and buckle up. He is an American tech CEO and millionaire who is on pace to become a billionaire by 2025. Couple of years away, with headquarters on 4 different continents, and is creating over 100,000 millionaires by giving away 1.5 billion by 2025. Please welcome Antonio T. Smith Jr. Antonio.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Yes, I've been binge listening to your podcast.
That is quite the task that you are set out to accomplish.
Yes, I have grandiose, foolish dreams.
Well, I mean, dreams are, I think we have to dream. We have to chase them, right?
No,
It's
absolutely.
the dream makers are the ones that change the world.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And plus, we're the black sheep of the families too, right?
Guilty.
Exactly. Guilty.
Hey, you know what? My mom always says that the kids that struggle the most, you end up usually doing the greatest things.
That's facts. Yep.
I know.
That's facts.
And I feel it's only if obviously we get out of our own way and like turn our lives around. You know?
Yeah, it makes total sense because for one, you got to learn people skills. 2, you got to learn how to make money. And most people don't learn how to do either one of those things.
Yeah.
Except for kids in trouble.
So you have got a very cool thing that you're doing, very different than from anyone else I've ever talked to. So you are building a city to where people of the light share it and create a harmonious society, regardless of race, creed, or religion. I want to start, I want to hear about the success and becoming a billionaire, but I want to hear about this city first because I'm intrigued.
Yes. It's a resource-based economy. It's like, I think Jacques Fresco started the same thing. Essentially, I put my goal is to save 90% of all my income and build a whole city like Apple did with its old foundation. We get rid of money completely, have it to where, because resources is the most important thing, right? So you walk in, you get your resources, you come back out. And I'm focused on Texas and Ghana right now because Texas has a lot of well water. Yeah. And then I've already got the solar electricity stuff down. And that's the goal. I've got my own blockchain and things like that. So the goal for me is to create heaven on earth, life without money. Yeah. That's my life's purpose.
That'd be amazing. I mean, I with the way our world is trending, do you foresee any like roadblocks with some of these crazy, dirty politicians?
Oh, yeah, of course I do. Yeah, that's a 50 million roadblock. You're trying to have a part 100 podcast. If you want to talk about that, this is episode 1, right? No. Yeah, definitely. And that's also why I'm nonpartisan. I've become pretty famous for being nonpartisan. I'm not left or not right. I respect pronouns. I'm not an a-hole, stuff like that. I'm really nonpartisan. Both sides for me are guilty. Yeah. And of course, as soon as you start taking money out of people's pocket, as soon as you start going against the status quo, what we do is we create laws to make it harder for other people to get it. And that's exactly what's happening now, and it's going to continue to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a huge shift in our world in the last couple of years with COVID, where a lot of stuff's just not even being hidden anymore. It's so like in your face that it's I get a little worked up. I would like to say I'm nonpartisan. I just believe in doing what's right, Well, and both sides aren't being right,
Right.
So, but I don't get into politics, so we're not going to go. So, with we're going to move on to your success and what you're trying to do, but with this city that you're trying to create, how do people like move into the city? Is there some kind of requirements, some kind of application? What do you foresee as you continue to grow it?
Yeah, we're all going to get Kool-Aid and drink poison and wait for the aliens. No, I'm just totally
You're funny. So I like it. You're funny.
So, I thought about that long and hard, and half of my heart says no requirements. The other half of my heart says, well, you got to build with high quality people first. Yeah. So I'm kind of doing a little both and going on right now, so if you got some strong engineering skills, because my initial idea was to drop like 25 million and buy a city. Texas has like super cities you can just buy for 25 million, things like that. But I don't want to inherit the old pipes that we're having problems with right now.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to inherit that problem. So I'm going to do a little both and. I'm going to make sure I start first with people like you, high quality people, plus high skill set people.
Yeah.
And then from there, we'll just let it. And
Bro.
and most important here, completely separation between church and state. It's not no religious thing. It's a government. In addition to that, freely held elections, democratic elections. So it's
Yeah.
all, nobody's being picked. You got to be voted.
Wow, that's amazing. I am fascinated to see how this unfolds. Do you have like a timeline when you wanted to start really?
So I'm already doing it. I'm already doing it online right now.
Okay.
It's a great question. I got about 5 steps. Number one, instead of asking people for donations, what I'm doing, since I'm techie, I build video games and stuff, and I just make money and save that money, right? That's
Yeah.
number one. Two, I built this large community online of people to where I split it now. So now you got the tech side of it, telling you got this thing called Assembly of Wanderers, and that's the conversation we're talking about. And
Yeah.
so I'm looking for a bunch of weird people who think being fair is nice and random acts of kindness, those weird people that make the world a better place. Exactly, right? Those people that they'll make a better place. So I got an online version, and now what we're doing, we're taking all that online and now we're planting in different communities. So now what you see, a bunch of cities, bunch of communities, and then we're just trying to come together in one local place.
Wow, that's quite the undertaking. So you hopefully, I'm assuming you got a good team behind you.
They're all women too, by the way.
Oh wow. Well, even better.
That's
Even
it.
better.
You want to win, get women to do the smart stuff.
I like it. I like the way you think. So let's back up now. So you are a techie. So have you always been on your own, or were you in corporate first before you broke out and became a CEO?
Oh, fair enough. So I was homeless from 5 to 15, so that had a lot to do.
Oh,
Yeah, that had a lot to do with it, and of course, a lot to do with my mindset too. I never had anybody. I never had my parents tell me money don't grow on trees, or
yeah.
all because a lot of us get our low self-esteem from our parents. So
Yeah.
I grew up without that. That's why I think I could build a city, right? Because I grew up without that, things like that. But I never really went into corporate America and did tech. To be honest with you, my background is actually special operations intelligence sergeant. I was actually military intelligence special operations.
Holy
And
cow.
yeah. And I was part of the lead task force for 3rd Brigade during the Bush administration. And I learned how to do psychological operations, which still works out for me today. We just call it marketing, right? We
Yep.
just call it marketing,
There you go.
pretty much. And from there, I learned how to kill people, play spades, and drink beer. So I was like, man, I got to do something else. And I started picking up computer programming on the side, self-taught. And now I just invent stuff for absolutely no reason at all. Completely
Okay.
self-taught.
So when did you start making all your money from building the games or creating the games? Like, where did that come from?
No, great question. I didn't become a millionaire in 2016, and that was by accident because I didn't understand how things work. Since I grew up homeless, I don't believe in net worth or anything. If I can't spend it, I don't like it. That's just
Yeah.
me. Yeah. If you get all the other stuff, I don't like loans too much, etc. So you had that process there, but I start making money immediately before I even graduated high school. Then I learned. So by the time I was 18, I was already 6 figures. It wasn't too hard. I had a recording label, and then I sold 200 things for $500. So there you go. That
Yeah.
solves that problem.
Yeah.
That solves the 6-figure problem right there. And then I joined the Army. So I joined the Army with like $58,000 in my bank account at 18. My graduation class was 772. I graduated at 768. Like I barely graduated high
Wow.
school. Yeah, I was too busy selling my Vicodin pills in the
Ah.
bathroom.
I love
I'm
it.
that kid. Like
Ah.
I'm that kid. As in the
Gotta do what
boys'
you gotta do,
bathroom.
man.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Right. So I was always like that. But I start making money. Here's what happened. After the Army, I went shell shock from 2008, 2011. And then I started doing like law of attraction, still trying to be a motivational speaker. And somebody would say, well, wait a minute. And I'm like 23, I'm not 23, like 30 years old. They say, hold on, stop. How did you retire? And I'm like, well, wait, let me answer your question. And I answer the question and I go back to, okay, want to be successful. Wait a minute, young man. Wait a minute. What you mean you retired and you do this? And so now today, a lot of my keynotes are Q&A because people kept interrupting me, asking me how did I retire.
Yeah.
I'm known for teaching people how to retire. And I've created something like, I don't know, 2,000 millionaires so far. So I tried to be motivational, but since I learned business, boom, I taught people how to make business. And I made most of my money making money and then teaching the middle class how to make money.
Hey Dad, how you been? What's going on?
Well, not too much. Spring cleaning time.
Well, did you weed whack? Did you get the carpets cleaned? 'Cause I know Mom's all about that, so I want to make sure we're ready to go.
Well, yeah. I got the gutters clean. That's about it.
That's it? Well, when I said weed whack and all that and the carpet, I kind of meant like the Manscaped 4.0. It's a little more personal.
I understand. Yeah.
Works awesome.
Have you tried this?
I have tried it and it works wonders. It really does. Yeah.
Okay. This is pretty cool. And see, it comes with an LED light, and I understand it's waterproof.
It is waterproof. It works well. I tried it. It's a good product. It's a great product. I've tried other ones, and they're just so noisy, and they don't cut very well.
Wow, that's really good, Mike. Where do we get this?
Well, you can get it at manscaped.com, and while you're at manscaped.com, you know that we got a code, so we get it cheaper.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of a discount can we get?
We can get it at label-free 20, and it gives you 20% off the product, and it gives us free shipping. And I've tried some of the other products there because they got these all new premier products. Like this here, it's a deodorant.
Now, is it for underarm or other places, or
I tried, but it's for the underarm.
Okay.
That's where it's at. And you could also get it at manscaped.com. Same code. We're using the code again. Label free 20. Label
we
free
get
20.
20% off and free shipping?
Free
as
shipping.
well?
I mean, how can you go wrong with that, right?
Wonderful.
So how do you teach someone to become a millionaire? What does that look like? Not
Yeah.
with giving all your secrets away, because obviously, we want to be hired. But I'm just curious. I mean, that's an amazing thing to do. You're giving back. You have a gift and you're giving back to people so that they can raise their standard of living.
Yeah, fair enough. And I don't even mind giving it all the way. That's kind of my brand. You need 5 things to be successful as an entrepreneur. The first thing you need to do is you need to find a congregation, like a bunch of people who have the same set of ideas, the same set of beliefs, because once you get ideas and beliefs together, you donate to that. That's number one. So if you're selling Texans Cup right here, right, the Houston Texas Cup, you probably want to go to Houston, where is your congregation at, right? Something like that. Exactly. You find a congregation. The second thing you need to do is once you find out who the heck you're about to sell to, then you need to follow their attention. And this is what I tell everybody. Do not build a company because you want to. Don't build a company because you have a good idea. Listen to that congregation. They will tell you what to build. And then go find the 1- and 2-star reviews, all the complaints about what they're paying attention to. Make those complaints, put them on top of it. Now you got a better product than the competition.
Wow.
Exactly. And then the third thing you're going to do is once you follow their attention, obviously you're going to jump in front of that attention and sell them the thing before they know they want it. Or as soon as they start complaining. The fourth thing is you're obviously going to close the sale. And the fifth thing is you do it again. Right?
Yeah. No, that's true. I've been in sales forever. I'm actually, I feel like we sell ourselves on a daily basis with different aspects of life, and it's a different type of sales, but it's always about trying to find the need. And I've heard that before. One of my old positions where it's just like you try to find where their issues are and pitch it to be better, right? Better than what they were experiencing. So I love that advice. Although I never want to get into sales again.
Fair enough. I hate sales, but I'm so good at it.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got to have salespeople, right?
That's true.
So are you still doing the motivational speaking?
So the crazy thing is, as of last year or 2 years ago, the pandemic shifted it back around again. And now it's kind of 50-50. I got artificial intelligence conferences I do, and I have motivational speaking that I do. It's both and we're 50-50 again.
I love it. So you just mentioned artificial intelligence. So you plan to be the first person to create the master algorithm. Talk to us about that.
Oh, it's impossible. There you go. Grandiose expectations for another dreamer again. Think of like the mass algorithm as the Lord of the Rings, the one ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
So the one algorithm that needs no other algorithm, self-taught, self-learned, and then picks up everything else. And nobody's done it yet. Like nobody's done it yet, of course.
I mean, that's like the key, like the magic word with social media. How do you like trick the algorithm? How do you get ahead of the algorithm? Like, so I just find it very interesting that you say you're going to have one master one.
Yeah, one master. And here's the crazy thing is I absolutely, so half of me can't stand the social media algorithm, but the business half of me doesn't want to complain because it's free, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I got that duality going on. I've got my own social media. I just pulled it down, but it's coming. It'll be out sometime later this year. And there's no algorithm. You get 100% organic reach, and your information is never sold.
Get out of here. So what's
I'm dead serious.
The name of your platform?
It's called Vibin, VYBN. I did a test launch of it last year or a year and a half ago, and 1,000 people signed up in 48 hours, real quick. And I was in it. So I just took those 1,000 people and I tested it. So now I'm putting all that artificial intelligence inside of it to make it better. But 100% organic reach. Your information is never sold. And my favorite part, you don't have to buy no ads because you got 100% organic reach. So
do you, so will the people be censored like they are today on Facebook and Instagram?
No, now you're talking now. I guess is where my Republican side comes out, right? Now I believe in free speech, and I'm not going to bother nobody about free speech. That's not something that I plan to regulate. Will I have to have some sort of checks and balances, like you can't rape some woman? Yes, that's not even some, but we all have some sort of understanding. Don't do this. But as far as that Bay Area liberal thing that goes on, I'm not with that. I'm too much of a capitalist to be so liberal.
And I agree with you. And I totally, I don't have the foresight to want to create something like that. But another question comes to mind is cyberbullying, because that's a pretty big thing on social media where, people get real nasty, because they're behind a computer screen. I personally don't have the time or the energy to do anything like that to anyone on social media. Like, and if somebody does it to me, I'm like, block onto the next. I'm not even engaging with you. You don't deserve my time.
You got your block muscles trained.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. You bring up a very good point, because as we move into the metaverse, that's what I'm preparing my company for, we're going to have a meta police, because once you get fully immersive, people aren't going to stop being bullies. Rapists are going to stop being rapists. Pedophiles are going to stop being pedophiles. We're going to have somebody, because we all know the internet is a safe place. No, not even close. No. So you're going to have to say something like that. But no, I believe in free speech. When it comes to that, I am real Donald Trump with free speech. I believe in free speech for sure. I've got a liberal side and a conservative side. Like you said earlier, I just want to do fair and right and good. Yeah. And if you want to be a butthole, you have the right to be a butthole. And I have the right to think you wrong and let you be wrong. Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that is like fascinating. So where can people find you, connect with you, and learn more? Like, your website is super cool. It's got so much stuff on it. So please, sure. The best way to get in contact, I have a phone dedicated just to helping people. Like, for instance, if you just follow my content, you really don't have to buy from me. So 409-500-1546. That's 409-500-1546. It's not a sales. It's a real cell phone. There's no, what you call a sales funnel, nothing. You just talk to me. Just don't call me, please. This is not 1980. Text me. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Of course, just put Antonio T. Smith Jr. in any social media. I'll pop up. I dominate like the first 28 pages of Google. Awesome. And so what would be something that someone could text you about?
Anything. Well, a lot of people, my most common questions is this real? Then how do I make money? Yeah, I get a lot of that. And then of course I got it. I got these country codes down now, same number on WhatsApp. And some people go, can I have $1 million? Like, no, money don't work like that, right? But no. Yeah, if you're trying to get my goal is, if you're trying to get into the top 1% of your country, whatever the country that may be, you can ask me anything that you think is relevant about that, period. And I have yet to block somebody, because nobody really is disrespectful.
That's awesome. Well, that's amazing. How long have you been doing that for?
since Gary V did it. Actually, this is exactly what happened. Gary V, like 3 years ago, said, "Text me," and I was like, wait a damn minute.
Yeah.
What does he mean? That's exactly what I was like.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. And then I got a whole blog about it. 24 hours later, I was at the store buying a cell phone because I tried to join a little community thing and they wouldn't let me do it. So I was like, fine, I got money. Get me a cell phone, get me a new plan. And then I had been having it ever since.
Wow, that's super cool. I love that. One more question, and then we're gonna wrap things up. You mentioned something about metaverse, and so I'm also I was in tech sales for a while. So so I was selling SaaS, a software as a service. And so I learned a lot about, AI and the way things are trending out in the retail space and just in banking and insurance. Like it's becoming very automated, everything. How important is it, and what types of businesses should really be considering being a part of the metaverse?
All of them.
All of them?
All of them. Yeah, the metaverse is not a fad. No different than the internet wasn't a fad. No different than blockchain is not a fad. If you're doing car mechanics right now, you will be on the metaverse. My gaming engine that I use to build my video games, Unity, is currently using their gaming energy for Disney Pixar to make films, and they just did Lexus. So now when you buy a Lexus, you can build the car in the gaming engine, and you don't even have to go to the Lexus store no more. You can just get in the car and test drive in virtual reality.
That's insane.
That's insane. We are clearly in the future.
Yeah.
Soon you're going to be able to try on your bra in the metaverse. So if you have any business possible, it will be in the metaverse. So don't think you're going to be behind. Don't think you're too behind. Don't think it's a fad. It's not a fad. It's you're basically in internet AOL 1997 right now.
Yeah. Well, so what about someone like me? So my business is my podcast. So how would I be in the metaverse?
Great question. For one, imagine what the blue verified badge is going to look like when you're in the metaverse. You might like glow green or something, right? You know what I'm saying?
I like glow.
Yeah, because you got to have that status, right? You got to walk around different. Yeah. So when you're a podcaster who is famous and you got the blue check, you're going to walk around glowing and stuff or something like that.
Yeah.
And then plus, when you do a podcast, imagine that your guests, forget the guest sitting in front of you. No, that's too easy. Imagine when people go to Apple, they're going to then hit a button, put on their goggles, and then sit with you while you're interviewing a guest like Larry King Live or something. Yeah. That's exactly going to happen. I would build that right now, and I'm not half as smart as the people in Bay Area. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That was super cool. Okay. So before we say goodbye, you've dropped a lot of wisdom on us, talked about a lot of very cool things, stuff that I think is very relevant for today's world, obviously. What are some last words of wisdom and advice you want to leave with the audience today?
Just one. Move before you're ready. I can't think of anything else, because first off, you're never going to be ready. It's never going to be perfect, and you automatically suck. It just is what it is. And if you don't give yourself 21 days to suck at something, you're never going to be good at it. You're never. In fact, the first 21 days, the first 21 hours, hell, I'll say the first 210 hours, you're going to feel like an idiot. A dumb idiot. It's just terrible. You're just not going to get it right. You need to fully immerse yourself in it. And the only way you're going to do that is you move before you're ready. I hate working out. However, I have to get myself up and then tell my body move. And it says no. And then I just start running anyway. And then my endorphins kick in. And that's really the metaphor for life here. You're never going to be ready. Start your podcast now. She keeps telling you start your podcast. I listened to 3 of your episodes. Everything you say, you're dropping knowledge. Y'all move before you're ready, because if you don't, people like Deanna is going to employ you instead of you being her business partner. Simple as that.
Yeah, Antonio, that was good. Very true. I mean, I'm a big believer in, if I think it, I'm gonna do it, regardless if I know anything about it or not. And if I don't succeed fully, at least I tried. Like I tell my mom, pull the trigger. She wants to write a book. I'm like, just write the book already. Just write the book.
Yeah. And that was my first impression of you. My first impression of you, the first thing I did when I went to your podcast, I said, oh, she's got 288 episodes. That's the first thing my first impression of you was, oh, this lady is working.
Yeah.
And that's moving before you're ready.
Right. That's right. Believe me, in the beginning, it was not pretty, but I have smoothed it out, and it is definitely like leaps and bounds from where I first started. So, you learn as you go.
Absolutely.
At least I do. And hopefully people are. But Antonio, it has been a blast talking to you today. I loved everything that you brought to my audience and to the show. Keep us posted on any new projects or anything like that. Love to have you back and update everyone, and just keep it moving and staying connected.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Please don't forget to follow, subscribe, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.